Emily and Tim Zobl are the founders and owners of the Clubhouse. It's the new spot on Post Road East in the old Pane a Bene space. You got golf, other simulators, high-tech dart games, 2 karaoke rooms, full restaurant, bar, huge TV screens, rooftop deck, and more. It's a unique business, and today we will learn more about it. So, Emily and Tim, welcome to 06880, the podcast.
Thanks for having us, Dan.
Was that a good description?
I think you caught just about everything.
Okay.
So there's a lot there.
So we'll get to the Clubhouse in a bit, but a bit about both of you. Emily, you are a native Westporter, and Tim, you are not.
Yes.
So you want to give us
quick
description?
We'll share a little bit about our background. I'm obviously born and raised Westport, went to Staples, grew up down by the beach.
What class?
What class of 2012?
Oh, my God. A
child. And I always knew I wanted to end up back in Westport, but went to University of Michigan where I met Tim. We lived in the city for a number of years. We both worked in hospitality, the more corporate side of hospitality. We decided, with COVID that we would move back a little prematurely and got married, and we're thinking, okay, what's our next step? And I don't want to jump the gun too much, but that's sort of where the idea for the Clubhouse came up. And I'll let Tim speak a little bit about his background.
Yeah. I grew up in Michigan, the suburbs of Detroit. Very similar to a lot of people there. Went to the University of Michigan where Emily and I met. And then, like Emily said, moved out to New York City, started working in sports and hospitality. Always knew we were moving back to Westport. It was just a matter of time and what we wanted to do. So we're excited to be here. And yeah.
So on those first dates, did you say, we want to do something in Westport that's never been done before?
Well, at Michigan, we were both sport management business majors. So we've always had a passion for sports, entertainment. University of Michigan is such a big sports school, and that's sort of, we bonded over that in the first few dates, the fact that we both had a love and passion for sports.
Yeah, we would sit in a crowded bar on a Saturday night at 11 p.m. arguing whether athletes should be paid or not, and then 10 years later,
here we are in our own sports bar arguing about different things.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's sort of, we both went and had our own careers and focused on very different things. I think we complement each other very well. I have more of an operations and experiential background, and Tim is much more of a sales and has some creativity. So I think we complement each other really well. But, COVID was sort of what really pushed us out here, and coming out of that as far as, this desire for social space as well.
So how did the concept come about? And,
as with all great things, and I'll give my mom a shout out, she was sort of, what's next? And we knew we didn't want to go back to the city, and we love working together. So we have a shared, interest in golf, and that's obviously a big thing in this area. And simulators are very in right now. That being said, the idea of a simulator lounge is not a unique concept, but we were sort of thinking, okay, how do we take it a step further? There's all these people that have moved from New York. There's a younger audience here. I've always said that Westport has amazing retail, great restaurants, but we sort of lack in the indoor entertainment space. And, if you want to go bowling or you want to go to the movies or anything like that, you have to go to a neighboring town. We've always had sort of, amazing outdoor space with Campo Beach and Longshore and people going to their own country clubs. But we sort of really thought there was a need. So that's sort of where it all came about.
And so you had that vision.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And going from vision to reality is
incredibly challenging.
Not easy.
No.
What were the challenges?
You want me to take that?
I'll let you take that one.
So, I think we spent a lot of time having, those awesome conversations about what could this be, and what does Westport need, and where would we want to hang out, and how can we solve all of that? And the challenges for us sort of began with, we came up with proof of concept, but then it was, we need to find a location. So location was the very first thing that we had to tackle that I would say was a challenge, because we knew we wanted to own the building in order to make the sort of investment to create a premium space and really put the time, money, and effort into the building. So it took us quite a while to find a building. We looked at a couple different locations in Westport, and then we finally settled on what is known around town, I feel like, as the Ready Cut building, or where Pane Bene and Innovation Luggage are. And then
why did you want, what was appealing about that location?
I think that part of town is kind of having a reawakening. You've got the new Delamar across the street, which is great. You have Tacombe. There's just, it's sort of livening up a bit. And I think that building had been neglected a little bit. And so for us, we saw an opportunity, and it had the right amount of space. And I think that in order to do all of the things that you listed, the karaoke, the golf, the rooftop, we needed a building that could accommodate all of that. And it was kind of hard to find.
As well as parking.
Parking.
Yeah.
So, and that would bring me to the next challenge, which is, planning and approval process. I don't think we thought that was going to be as challenging as it was, but obviously we're thrilled to say we're on the other side of that, and couldn't be happier to be open.
What were the issues with approval?
I think whenever you have, and I don't know, I feel like I learned a lot through the process, so that was a good personal experience, but our special permit process and just sort of the fear of the unknown, I think, to some of the neighborhood and whatnot, and maybe not knowing Tim and I personally, nobody likes change. So I think there was some resistance there. And then I think that the thing that I would love to get across in our conversation today as well is just, there's a lot of change happening in Westport when you look at the main street, when you look at the Post Road, and a lot of these companies and businesses coming in, they're larger, chains or things like that. And I'm all for it. I love it. But at the same time, if you want to have more local business owners, I think that the process could be a little bit easier.
So how did it evolve? You had the original concept. Yep. Is that the same as or different from what you thought of?
It's pretty close. I think, when we first started looking at locations, it was definitely going to be a not smaller space, but a little bit more focused on the activities. The first couple locations we looked at, it might have been a 20-seat restaurant or a 10-seat bar with a couple tables. When we got into what is, 1620, where we are, we realized there was a much larger space. So that certainly changed. I know the food and beverage aspect of it has changed a lot, which I'm sure we'll get into a little bit later. But as far as the concept, it's as simple as we wanted to bring a high-level experience and great hospitality to people. So at the core of it, no, nothing has changed.
Did you do any market research? I mean,
we did a ton of market research. We did a competitive analysis and looking at, best in class examples and what we could bring to Westport. I think the most surprising thing that maybe Tim would say did change a little bit from the original concept was I had made the joke about karaoke rooms in Westport, Connecticut. And Tim said, no, it's a golf town. I think we should really lean into the golf. Let's not, let's add a couple more simulators. And I think we've been really pleasantly surprised by people want activity space, and people, on a Friday or Saturday, you'll have, 5-year-olds in there singing Frozen. And then an hour later, you've got, retirees singing Frank Sinatra. And then that evening, you've got mom's night out with martinis. Like, it's just, there's something for everybody. So I think that the variety is something that we didn't, have in the original concept.
I'm still on a diet recovering from the amount of burgers that we had to go try in New York City to make sure to perfect it. So
we did a lot of research on the burger.
Wow. So, and you're happy with the burger?
Very happy.
Very happy.
Okay. Very happy.
And I like to think Westport's happy with the burger too.
Let me go back to the research and who is the core audience? Who's the target market?
It's a great question. I think that our core audience is really, there's something for everybody. But when we look at who we're catering to, it's probably the mid-30s to mid-60s, which I know is quite a large range, but I think it's people that are looking for a parent's night out, or they're looking to go and do something with their kids that's also fun for them, or we're looking at, couples going on date night or having a drink at the bar, or it's just, there's nowhere locally, at least that we've seen, where, you know, you can go and watch a sporting event and just watch the sporting event, or you can just go and have a drink. Like I said, we've got great restaurants, but the expectation is you're coming for dinner, so having that social space and gathering space for entertainment. And I think for us, private events have been insane. You know, we're a team of 3 or 4, and we can't really, we just hired somebody full-time in that role to help us manage that, because that's who we're catering to, because you've got great venues, but they're for large scale events, not for your typical weekend get together.
Yeah, and also just like the corporate aspect of it. There are of course a couple, 500 person companies, but the amount of 20 person small finance.
We want to come
Are you getting those?
Yeah,
a lot,
definitely.
yeah.
And what are they looking for? What do they come for?
Hey, we're looking for a team outing. Either, let's sing some karaoke, or we have something called the Annex, which is the 2 dart bays and the 3 simulators, and they reserve that, and they just have 2 hours of happy hour and activity time as a team.
And these are like local
businesses.
Yeah, so I come from that background of ticket sales and event sales and things like that, and a lot of the corporate parties, you're typically going to just a bar and you're getting a couple drinks and you're talking to the same people you always talk to every single day. We kind of provide something different there, where you're able to come in and hit a golf club or hit a golf ball or throw some darts, sing some karaoke. Yeah. It's just a different activity and opportunity than most people are
see
used
people
to
out of
now.
their usual workplace routine. So we've had local hair salons and gyms and other restaurants coming in just to enjoy.
You mentioned the karaoke aspect is a little surprising. What else has been surprising?
Well, I'll tell you, I think it was in the first couple of weeks we were open, and Tim and I, we both have we have 2 under 2, and I think that we envision this as very much a family-friendly place by day, but I had a group of moms come up to me and say, "You got to protect this place. We need adult-only space in Westport," and I think we've struggled with the balance of trying to serve everybody and be family friendly, but also have that adult space. And so, our bar and restaurant after 8:00 on a Friday, Saturday night is 21 and up. And occasionally, if there's a football game or something like that, we'll open it up for younger audiences as well. But I think it's just so interesting to me that is something that people are craving. When you ask about what I was surprised, it was just people were very vocal that we want somewhere that's for us.
And the rooftop lounge
is also 21 and up. And we'll have, unique programming. We're looking at maybe doing some kids' music classes, or we're really excited. We're sneak preview, Dan. We're thinking about doing some kind of winter market over a weekend in December to have something fun on the roof for everybody with, Santa, hot chocolate, that kind of thing. But it's just really using the space for everybody, but also being mindful of what people are asking for in the feedback.
Yeah. We were talking before we started taping about this past weekend, the first weekend of Michigan football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And people also came in looking for
tennis.
Oh yeah.
Tennis.
No, and we're really somewhere, especially in our main dining room. The majority of the time someone asks for a sporting event, we'll accommodate and put it on. We had someone call yesterday at 4:15, 2 49ers fans, and they were like, "Can I come watch 49ers Seahawks in here?" And I didn't even go look. I was like, "Yeah, of course we'll be able to turn that on." So we're really just trying to accommodate. And like I said, we put up an Instagram post where we said we're going to have all 8 games for the NFL on TV at 1:00, and then we had 40 people come in and ask for the tennis. And of course, we're going to accommodate that. And we are a place for everybody in that sense.
We've got an incredible LED video wall that can cater to everybody.
How many TVs?
We have 3 TVs above the bar, and then we have our LED video wall, which can be anywhere from 2 to 8 TVs, 2 to 8 screens, because it could just transform.
You can manipulate it to be what you want it to be. So either huge screen.
Does it take a lot of work to work that?
We have a great AV setup. So.
Yeah, it's a click of a button, and we have some eager servers who don't want to come and track us down to ask to change the channel, so they all learned how to do it as well. So, yeah.
Wow. The Michigan aspect of it.
Yes.
You got a Michigan room, right?
We have a Michigan-themed karaoke room. We do.
So, it was really the whole University of Michigan thing. Fairfield County, as you may know, is a ginormous University of Michigan alumni area. And, it was really something we wanted to do for the space. I had talked to the Alumni Association, and, the couple of bars that they've been at over the last 10 years didn't necessarily prioritize them in the sense of like, oh, it's a busy Halloween Saturday night, so we can't have you guys in. And well, it's the Michigan State game, and you're our bar. So, it was something that we wanted to do and make sure, we're loyal to our people at University of Michigan. So we had to make sure that we were.
And we're still very active with the university and following sports. And I think that it's just, we're excited to grow that partnership and even expand it a little bit more.
So.
What hasn't worked?
Ooh, it's a good question. I think that Tim and I, given our experience, is primarily corporate hospitality in the past. People has been the most challenging piece of this. And I think that when you have great people in place, it makes a world of difference. And I think we're really confident in our team. We have a great team, but it's just been finding the right people. And, we're really happy to say we're in a good spot right now.
How do you market it? How do you get?
How do we get the word out?
Yeah, what's your?
We're on the 06880 podcast. No, I'd say we've done a lot of local press. We have a great Instagram following. I think that it's really important to note we're still in our infancy as a new business. We're only, I think, 8 months in. And so for us, it's been finding what's been working the best. We obviously have our own internal email lists and things like that for people that are interested in what we're putting out there. But I think it's been mainly local press, no paid advertising or anything like that. And, our website is the primary marketing tool that we're using right now.
Trying to get the word out there between, guests who come in and making sure, hey, we are a new business. Tell your friends.
Is there a small business community in Westport? Are you?
I think so.
I think so, and I think we're part of the Westport Downtown Association and the Chamber of Commerce. Like we're trying to plug into all those networks, which have been very useful.
Oh, definitely think so, especially with like I had mentioned previously, the smaller companies who are coming in, the dermatologist or the hair salon or these small, like a private equity company. I think there's definitely a
network
local
of
business
smaller businesses.
Yeah, that almost like we're all in this together.
We all kind of bond.
And you've got the Delamar across the street.
Of course.
Yes.
Any collaboration?
Yeah, we're very tight-knit with them, and I think Charles and his team are great, and I know they had their big soft opening this week, and I think that we've had a lot of guests of theirs already coming over. We're working on some cross promotions with them, exclusive offers for their guests, and I just think it's going to be really great for us. They have obviously a number of weddings coming up this year, and I think we have 3 or 4 wedding after parties for them.
Wow.
Yeah. So we'll be open a little extended hours for them to come over and enjoy karaoke or late night food or whatever after the wedding. So it's been fun to see.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So you guys are part of an important new demographic in Westport. Young kids, 2 under the age of 2. What is that like? This is not a Clubhouse question, but it's a question of, you being here in Westport.
I love that question because I think that, first of all, I don't know if I would have chosen to do Clubhouse and a new baby in the same year if I could go back, but I couldn't be happier with where we are now. I think that demographic is so interesting because when my parents moved to Westport a long time ago, there were all these ways to connect and to meet people and, new neighbors clubs and things like that. And if I'm being fully honest, and we're working so much, I think it's challenging to connect with new people. And once, you start preschool and you start to, make friends that way. But I think that for us, part of the Clubhouse was also creating a meeting space. And so a way for that age group to sort of go out and meet people. And we're working on specific programming that's kind of going to get those groups in there and create that organically.
And you just said, a meeting space, not just for younger demographic. I believe on Thursday we have someone coming in and doing an empty nesters event where it's, new empty nesters can come and meet and
So, but again, I think that, like you said, that younger sort of young kids, maybe new to Westport, that's definitely something that's been top of mind for us, and
definitely
as we go through it as well.
So what's it like for you to be back in Westport, the town you grew up in?
Yeah.
And for you, you know, a stranger, to come to this town, and which is your wife's hometown.
I think it's been amazing to be back, and you know, I just during COVID, we lived down by the beach and walking in Campo every day and having those chats about what the clubhouse was going to look like. And I think for me, it's been amazing how receptive the community's been to like having a new business. And I think sometimes people forget that I'm local. A few times in this process, they were like, "How do we even know she's local?" Like, okay, you want to see my high school diploma? And I'm like, I promise, I grew up here. But it's been amazing, and I couldn't be happier to be back in town and sharing this experience with Tim and kind of having him as a new Westport.
Yeah, no, it's a very welcoming town. It's not dissimilar from where I grew up. Everyone is very friendly. Everyone is very, welcoming. And maybe during COVID, it was a little bit more difficult to be welcoming. But no, I'm loving it so far. Very happy to be here.
Any of your classmates around still?
I would say I'm on the younger side of people that are coming back, but they're all starting to come back.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah. So you mentioned your hometown being similar to Westport. Is this a scalable concept? Are you looking for clubhouses around the country?
It's almost like we knew we were going to get that question.
Yeah, we love that question. We've been asked that question a lot. I'm flattered. I think we're flattered by how many people have expressed interest in the clubhouse. We've had a handful of people asking about franchising and things like that. Our focus right now is really getting this location right and serving Westport. I definitely think it's scalable. I definitely think that there could be more down the road, and we'll just have to wait and see.
What's ahead?
What's ahead? So I think, for us, we've spent so much time with focusing on the food and beverage and the restaurant piece of the business. And for us, we're just excited. We're sort of in the first fall with the clubhouse and having one season of operating under our belts and getting some awesome programming. We've got trivia. We have a jazz night coming up. We've got, what else do we have coming up? Pilates on the roof. We're trying to do all these kinds of things. So just fun. What's coming up? Yeah. Lots of fun.
Where do all these ideas come from? Do you have an idea person, or is it you guys?
We have a team. So there's the two of us, obviously, who really nailed down the original concept. And then as far as overall, at the clubhouse, we have a couple other people, executive chef Katie McCune, with our food and beverage offering. She has the weird brain of a chef where, we started out with the idea of this being elevated country club fare, per se. And then as she came in and put her little twist on things, you'll come in, she's from New Orleans, and you'll see New Orleans barbecue oysters and some really fun stuff with some crispy rices. And, the menu is really taken a life of its own, where it's no longer just the elevated country club fare, but
very collaborative team, lots of ideas, lots of, there's no such thing as a bad idea right now. I think that for us, especially in the first year, we don't know what we don't know. So we want to know what people want.
And I think we're in a very unique position where a lot of people, especially our age, work for large companies where ideas are not necessarily welcome. If you're working for a place with 10,000 people, your idea is going to have to go out 40 different people just to get approved to think about. We're the decision makers. So if we come up with a fun idea, karaoke or a trivia night, how do we do it? And we just execute it.
Wow.
So
you're talking about the food. Is it hard to get the idea across that this is not just...
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very hard. I feel like, the seasonality of the business has also been very interesting, because you think golf, people golf outside in the summertime. So we're coming out of sort of what we would define as our slower season. That being said, we want Westport to know our restaurant is we think excellent, and we really want people to come and give it a try and add it into their rotation. And yes, we have the bar food, we have the smash burger, we have the chicken wings, but we also have really delicious elevated mains. And I think that we want to be a fixture in the community for come out on a Wednesday night and have family dinner. Yeah. And I think that a lot of people that have driven by the Clubhouse on the Post Road, because it's so visible, we either get the feedback that, hey, are you members only? Or is it just golf? And I'm not a golfer, so therefore I'm not welcome. Yeah. And I think it's really important for us to communicate, and we are trying to communicate that we're for everybody. And we come in, have a drink, have a burger, if you're here for golf, that's great too. But it's not just golf, we're a lot more than golf.
Yeah, I think the food aspect of it has been challenging for us just because we do get the connotation of being a sports bar. But it's a sports bar with very, very elevated food. I mean, I sat down and looked around, and there's people eating Tim's spicy rigatoni, a recipe of mine that's a pasta, and we have a New York strip sitting there. And then, to be honest, during the Michigan game, I sat down for 15 minutes and had a skin-on seared black sea bass over a corn succotash. Like, you're not finding that at a regular sports bar, and we're just trying to get that across.
I also think for us, weekends are insane.
Yes,
but the lunch crowd, we're also open for lunch, and we've partnered with we're going to be doing some mahjong and have some people come in and do that, and hopefully with some exposure, people will learn that we're there, we're open, and we're ready to serve.
Yeah, we have a very loyal lunch crew right now.
Nice.
But we are definitely open, and keep that in mind.
You guys are very hands-on. How much time do you spend there a day and a week?
That's a good question. A lot of time.
A lot of time.
I think, at the beginning it was
I was clocking 110-hour weeks there.
In peak sort of winter season. Now, for me, I also do a lot of work from home. We have 2 kids, so I'm more the behind-the-scenes administrative piece.
We're very fortunate to have a strong group of leaders at the Clubhouse that allow us to get home and spend some time with the kids as well, whether it be for a couple hours or even just an entire day. So,
but I think it's also, when we go back to that whole modern day mom and pop thing, sometimes the guests and the customers at the Clubhouse, they forget when they come that we are not some big corporate thing that we are figuring this out. We'll be honest, we are a new business. We are learning as we go. And, it's 3 or 4 of us. It's not a huge team. So we are doing the best we can. And we've been really happy with the product that we've been able to put out.
Yeah.
Great. Last question.
Sure.
When you're not at the Clubhouse and not at home with your kids, where do you hang out?
In Westport?
Yeah.
Where do we hang out?
Love going to the beach.
We love going to the beach. We love going out golfing. We try all the new restaurants in town.
We're foodies. So Fairfield County, we're going to different restaurants. So
yep. We love downtown. We're here at the library, to be honest. We're here doing the kids class thing.
Well, our weekends are a little bit different than other people's. So we spend Tuesdays, we'll spend some time together and go have lunch at a local place. And
our Saturdays are Tuesdays, so it's really easy to get a dinner reservation.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Anything I should have asked that I didn't?
Anything you should have asked that you didn't? No, I think you covered it all. I think we really appreciate you having us to chat, and we really encourage people just to come check it out, give it a chance, and one of us is usually there, so come up and say hi.
You open 7 days a week?
We are open 6 days a week. We're closed on Tuesdays. We're open every other day at noon till 11 for the time being.
Great. The Clubhouse, right there on the Post Road East, opposite the Delamar, a little bit down from the Delamar. And Tim and Emily Zobl, thanks for chatting with us for 06880, the podcast.
Thanks so much for
Dan.
having us.
Appreciate it.
See you at the simulator.
We'll be there.